All right, all right, all right. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to Wayne Faye and Company. I'm Shelly.
Desiree.
Brandon.
And you know what? Let's get real.
Let's get real, people.
There's a lot going on all the time.
So much.
There's just too much. And every week we try to join you guys and let you know what's going on. You may not know, but you probably should know.
Because
So-
it's news, better late than never.
Better late than never. So we call this Better Late Than Never
You
News.
feel me?
And in Better Late Than Never News, we have to talk about, unfortunately, all the time, we must talk about, because if you're not, you should. We must talk about
You know you should.
Donald Trump.
Unfortunately.
I'm happy you said his
Unfortunately.
name properly this time. I thought you were going to because I would have said it another way.
I was
but
going to,
You're
but-
narrating, so you're narrating.
So, Donald Trump has decided to go into a trade war with China. And I mean, I don't know if people are understanding that we are starting to feel the effects of it.
And
We now have taxes that we should not have.
A fancy
Things are
ass word for
costing
taxes.
more than they should. Like if you go to Walmart at this moment, you're paying more than what you've ever paid for at Walmart. I happened to recently find out that China happens to make 72% of our shoes.
it's a lot.
That's a lot of shoes.
People need to walk.
So I'm just not understanding.
Especially in the desert.
Like
In the
I
desert,
I
for
don't
sure.
know. So how do you
Crazy.
feel about this Trump tax that we are dealing with?
I just feel like he fucked up his own taxes. Now he coming to fuck ours up too.
Yeah, it's just...
And we not going to make it.
I feel that he gave rich people a very great tax cut. And now we are paying for all of this because when people say tariffs, I don't think they understand that we are actually paying for that as Americans. Like that's our tax that we pay for goods outside of our country. So we are paying for that twice over at this moment. And I really don't understand why people don't get that. And I need them to just maybe wake up a little because it's nuts.
This is real. It's
And I
definitely
don't
real.
think I do not believe that we have the chance to win
We're not going to win.
a trade war with China.
We
I
can't
know
win
it.
any war right now with the state
We're
that
outnumbered
in.
for
I
one.
don't.
We
I,
can't win any war.
I don't think we have the
It's not gonna
capacity, and I wouldn't want to try even if we did. I don't believe so. I don't know. I just wouldn't, and it's really sad at this moment. I hope our country can find and figure itself out at some point in time.
What about the electronics, though? Like, how much of a portion is that made up over there? Because we got to start thinking about that, too. You know what I'm saying? Because that's...
It's
All of
all
it.
of the electronics.
Well, then, you iPhone users and all this,
They're going up.
you paying $1,500 now?
They're going
That
up.
shit, you gonna be paying
Shit.
$2,100.
Shit on Wish was like $2.
$2,100 for the
iPhone
like
12.
$50 now.
They are going up.
They're
They are
going
for
for Chinese
definitely.
New Year's.
They are definitely going up, and
Because Wish is about to be expensive.
I-
Allied Express, that's all coming from China.
I know. I hope. I'm gonna pray.
We all are.
It's if not, everyone better just tighten their
No,
belts.
everybody better shop at Fry's where you can get some fucking customer service.
I mean,
If you're going to be paying more, you might as well shop
can't
somewhere where
talk
you're going to get
about
some customer
Fry's.
service.
we can't talk about fries yet. We
I'm
can't
just
talk about
saying.
fries. We can't
They
talk
going
about
up on
fries.
everything. We might as well go up with somewhere to go to
No,
Tarjay since he paying his taxes.
I mean,
Tarjay, what up?
I mean, you know,
Shout out to
we're
them $10
talking about.
shirts.
We talked about
Shout out
taxes.
to the $10
But
shirts.
honestly, there's a lot going on in this country while we're talking about taxes. Like this country is going it's going nutty
South.
for lack of a better
Literally,
word.
no
Like,
pun intended.
it's going south. So
Make America great again, or make America nutty again. Because
I
it's
don't
like, that's
know,
what it's
but
gonna be.
at this moment, it might become a little bit more nutty, a little bit more crazy because a good old state of Alabama, plus a whole host of others, have now enacted abortion laws. And Alabama happens to be the worst, where they say at contraception, you can no longer have an abortion. In the case of incest and rape, you still must have this child.
Wow.
I am not exactly sure why we are dealing with this.
And to
at
some
this day
extent,
and
the
age.
dads still have rights in cases of rape.
Absolutely. Like
Wow.
you can't get rid of this child. I don't
So you gonna make
understand
me? You gonna get me pregnant?
why
Okay.
there are. I just don't get why there are laws on the books to tell women what they can do and whatnot. But it ties into Trump and his bullshit ass taxes that we now have to pay because he wants to have a trade bitch ass war. Because he said this on his
He
campaign.
did. Yes, he did.
And they proceeded to make sure the courts are stacked in their favor. And I'm not sure if everyone understood what was happening in 2016 when they should have understood. And I hope and pray that we are understanding now.
Nobody's
And
understanding.
if you're not waking up, you better wake up real quick.
Besides the people who are already out there protesting
There
and bless
is-
their
it's-
hearts.
It's a lot coming for us. Like
Bless their
it's real dangerous out there, and I
It
feel. I guess I'm just on the side of women being able to choose whatever they want. I don't think anyone should tell them what to do. Like, they are their own people. They have their own brains.
Well, there's
Especially
no-
certain circumstances. Like, come on now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, I just
Incest,
at this
rape,
moment and all,
all
like
this,
I don't. It's not sure. It's not your motherfucking business. I don't think you should be in
I
anyone's.
think that's America's problem though, because they're in everybody else's business.
That's
and then
something between
everything
you and
going
your
on in their
doctor.
own
Like, if I'm
personal
getting
is
a
all
lung
bad.
transplant, it got nothing to do with you. Mind your motherfucking business.
You can't
You're
force,
the government.
but
You can't tell me I can't get my lung
You
transplant.
can't force somebody.
Yeah.
To, you can't force somebody to give some. You can't force somebody else to give somebody blood if they're dying, but you can force somebody to keep this child if they're dying. Like, it makes no sense.
Like, that makes no sense. Like, you much rather
Like,
like
I don't have to donate my
they
blood
are doing
to you.
this in the disservice of women. Like, they much rather a
Really
woman
are.
die,
That's
even
because
though
women
this
are getting
pregnancy
too
is
powerful.
dangerous for her, than let her get rid of this child that is not needed. Like, I don't understand. Like, there are
Not
plenty of
needed.
children
Or you
that we
can
can
even say,
adopt.
like, wanted in certain circumstances.
They don't even. There are
Like,
some people who
It's
just
an
don't want
accident.
them. Like,
It's
why
a
would you
baby.
bring that? Like, I don't think everyone understands. Like, everyone doesn't grow up in a wonderful, two-parent, loving, happy home with a white picket fence and a dog and a
Golden
backyard.
retriever, 'cause
Golden
they
retriever at
Not
that.
lasting.
Like, everyone, the ideal that they portray for everyone, that is not the world. That does not happen. That is rare. That is TV fiction. And if you had that, kudos to you. But that's not the world.
Or the 1%ers, because it's definitely.
I mean, the 1%ers don't even have dogs most days.
Yeah, they probably don't even have white picket fences.
They definitely
Those are
had,
the cat
they
people
had
of the
they had
world.
armed guard type fences,
Right, exactly.
like gates and shit.
Well, you know,
like, so, I
That's a
just
different topic. I'm not
I
gonna go to
just
it.
there's a lot going on, and I pray that our country figures it out, because if we don't figure it out in this next year or two and get our lives together, that abortion ban that is happening in a few states is going to hit the entire country, and I'm really
Hard, too.
woo! I'm
Gonna
going to
hit
pray
hard.
for us. I am going to pray for us, because at the same time we have this abortion ban going on, and I think it's nuts because we have this abortion ban on one side against women, so women can't do anything. But then we have the church
Oh, no. Come
on
on.
the other side
Come
doing
on,
way more scandalous
Come
things
on,
than.
Father. Don't.
Man, you know the church be doing a lot.
Yeah.
So, there is now a ban in the church to say that if you are known a sex pedophile person, you should no longer be in church. Like, it's nuts because they are still doing it. And the fact that no one has ever really been punished. Like, what they do in the church is not, they don't actually punish the person who actually has harmed people and actually, like,
It's the church.
Yo.
they will take that person and send
It's
them
the
to
church.
another.
Who's gonna run the fish fries?
Another church.
Who's gonna run the fish fries?
And I don't understand that. I don't get it. It makes no sense because we have laws, like we are literally enacting laws on women to, you have to carry this baby, but we are letting the church rape little boys regularly. And I'm saying they're raping little boys regularly.
Let's talk about it.
They rape little boys regularly.
Like, come on now.
Like, that's some nuts.
America.
That's nuts.
America.
Like,
come
and the
on.
fact that we let them get away with raping little boys
Right.
is a problem.
Right.
Problem.
Like, I don't understand, but we have to give tithes and offerings of 10% of our. I don't understand, and then they are
It
not
is
taxed.
it's a whole income structure.
While raping little children, they don't pay a tax at all. So they getting money, not paying no taxes and raping children. I feel like that's a problem.
This is the world we live in.
Is this? I don't know if people want to live in this world.
Wow.
I think some things need to change, and that needs to change right there because I don't understand it. And the church, it ain't gonna never be right in my mind. They got a lot of soul searching to do before I can.
They got a lot.
They got a lot of work, and I can't help them.
I feel like you're more likely to get judged in a black church, but you're more likely to get raped in a white one. Oh, sorry.
Ooh.
Sorry. Hey, you know,
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. That's really, really deep, and you know that it does.
It's
Honestly.
true though. Like if you come into the black church gay, like you're more likely to get talked about, stereotyped. You're gonna be leading the praise team, but everybody gonna be talking about you after you get done leading the praise team. You come to the white church, they just worried about little boys. Like, that's crazy.
Raping them.
Fondling.
Fondling.
You
Doing
gotta
the
stop.
most
You gotta
with the
stop.
little boys. I don't know. It shouldn't happen, but they do. They do. And I guess, like, while we deal with all this church bull crap and everything else, like, you still have to talk about America and its wonderful issues with guns, because I think it all kind of ties in usually together, because it usually deals with a certain sect of people. I don't want to say so, but it definitely does most days. Because at this moment, there have been, I don't even know how many school shootings, like, they keep happening. So that's what we need to...
What's the new thing? It's like an extreme sport.
It feels like it might be an extreme sport.
It's
and
like an extra credit or something.
I don't know if it should be, but it definitely feels like it's an extra credit. And it's really disheartening, the fact that most school shootings don't get talked about unless there are more than 4+ people murdered at one time. Because we have a lot in this country. Like, we have a real problem with guns, and
Or if they're trying
I'm here
to...
for the Second Amendment. Like, you know, we talk about guns regularly because guns seem to come up in a lot of conversations
Those
about
are
a lot of
everywhere.
things, because they're everywhere. And I'm here for guns, but I think there should be maybe a limit on some guns, and I think there should be a limit on who can have guns, because certain people should not be allowed to have them at all.
You mean like certain police officers? That's neither here nor there.
Police officers might be included in that category. Like, I wouldn't say...
So then you should be on, what, like working a desk or something? Like,
It should be like
What
The
the
Walking
fucking-
Dead. Like, you should have to answer 3 questions before you get a gun.
I believe
You need to
there
answer
might
these
need to
3.
be a more vigorous
On this
process.
polygraph,
Like,
something.
I'm not saying. I'm gonna say it like this. I'm not saying you shouldn't have them. I'm saying maybe we should limit the types of guns that we allow on our streets as a public, for public safety, and like, just. We have a lot of people in this country, and I don't believe students should ever have to worry about going to school and be shot up.
Like, damn, you gonna kill me while trying to get an education?
Like, I don't understand that. That's mind-boggling
It's
to
fucked
me, because as a child, I didn't grow up with being shot up in school. Like, I grew up with tornado drills and, like, fire drills, but never.
We had a bomb
Shooting
threat.
We had a few bomb threats. But that was an early thing before bombs became a new thing as well. Like, so I'm not going to just
had
consider
a
that. Like,
couple bomb
it's a
threats.
problem. I don't believe children should ever have to go to school and worry. And it bothers me that people would want to do that to children. Like
Like the whole Sandy Hook
It's
thing. It's
like,
so shaky.
I mean, we're talking, like, we're over here arguing about women have to bring these children into this world, and then we don't give a fuck
They shoot 'em
about
up.
them when they go to school.
It's population control.
Like, how? Like, after Sandy Hook happened,
At
I
this
don't believe we
point,
should
only
have
the
ever had
strong
another school
survive.
shooting. After Sandy Hook, there should have never been another school shooting. Like, that shit broke my heart. Like, I don't even have children, and to know that someone decided to go into a kindergarten school, basically, and murder children, like, that still fucks with me. And the fact that we didn't learn then, and we still keep letting it happen, is fucking crazy.
Let somebody go into Petco and shoot up the puppy motel, though.
What? That's not gonna
It's
happen.
going down.
It's going down. We're shutting it down. You can't do that to dogs, but we allow it to children. That's nuts. That's nuts, because we allow all these people to have these guns. Like while we're talking about the guns and the school shootings, we then have to talk about people having an absurd amount of weaponry. I don't know why.
Absurd?
An absurd amount of weaponry.
Not absurd.
Absurd.
But what's absurd? You
Okay.
don't throw out a number.
I'm
what's
going to
absurd?
throw out a number, because absurd would be maybe 1,100 guns in one home that happened in California in Beverly Hills.
1,100.
1,100 guns.
Not.
Guns. Like, do you understand? As one person, you cannot single-handedly handle 1,100 guns. Like, you couldn't in an instant grab all 1,100 guns.
Any type of
Yo.
war.
And any type of war whatsoever. Like, you cannot. What do you need 1,100 guns
He
for?
was the man.
In a house.
He was the man. You know what I'm saying? Simple. Black
Like,
market. He was,
why
he was
do
on
you
his
have
own.
that? Why are we? Why?
Listen,
It wasn't him.
I'm here for the Second Amendment, but at that moment, that's a problem.
You can't even have 11 bitches in the house without the cops coming. So
1,100, not even 11.
I know, but I'm saying though.
But you can't.
You can't have
But you
11
can have
bitches in the
1,100
house with the
guns.
cops coming,
You
but
can have
1,100
But you
1,100
did
guns.
We
say
still don't know what he looks like.
Beverly
Still don't know what he looks like
Hills.
though.
So
Beverly Hills.
this is obviously an upper class
90210.
neighborhood.
Absolutely.
So therefore, you talking about the land there and maybe how the house or whatever is structured. There's some, you got ways to kind of store.
That
You
seems
can
ridiculous.
store them, but
That-
what do
Absolutely.
you need them for?
What do you need that
We
many
don't even
guns
have an
for?
answer to that.
Like, I get you can have them, absolutely. We have a right, but what do you need that many guns for?
He didn't need them.
What are you doing?
Everybody else needed
Everybody else needed them. He was the man.
What do you need that
He
many
didn't
guns
need
for?
'em.
I don't know. I don't know what you need that many guns
Black
for.
market
I'm going to
is
say
real.
I don't know.
Black market is real. All this shit is real. And
I don't know.
I don't want to get off of topic, but it's just
It is
all
a
that
real.
shit is
It's a real market. It's out
Human
there.
trafficking, car trafficking, like all that shit is like it's real.
It's
so you
real.
know what I'm saying, motherfuckers. And
It's
there's
real.
such thing as a gun market. Like there's a gun market.
Well, I mean, you can go
So-
to a gun show right now and buy a gun. So,
But I would see it as this.
There's no
Motherfucker got
laws against
1,100 guns. Like, it's just no way around
There's
it.
no
Like,
way.
you are the supplier.
I
period.
get. There's a.
some other anarchy type shit.
I'm here for the fact that, and we have a Second Amendment that says you can bear arms and form a militia, but when it comes down to it, I do not believe a militia is going to actually beat our actual government or military because they got bigger guns.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They got
So-
shit that we can't even.
I like
they got
the
shit
guns
we
ain't
ain't
gonna
even
stop
seen
them.
yet.
They got shit we ain't even
Facts.
talked about.
We ain't
son.
even seen
We ain't
it.
even seen it. We ain't gonna see it until they decide
Ain't
to.
gonna see it.
So it's not
Somebody
there.
decided to crack code.
So I don't know. I'm gonna pray.
They testing all
But
them
I mean,
motherfuckers out.
at the same time, we have all these guns in this one house in California. We become ourselves. We have to go to the other side of the country because there's always the other side of the country that does something even extra. So while one man has 1,100 guns in his house, Florida, good old Florida, always has decided to now enact a law that teachers are allowed to carry guns.
Look at that. In Florida.
So
It's real out there, though.
we have a school shooting. There's a man who has a bunch of guns in his house, too many in my mind. And as we have the school shooting, you know what, Florida? Let's give all the teachers guns. I don't think so. I don't know if people think more guns protect people, but I'm honestly sure that it does not. I've never
Guns
heard.
don't kill people.
But
People kill
I know
people.
guns don't kill people, but I'm pretty sure people with guns kill a lot more people than people without guns. And I don't believe teachers should have guns. Like they should.
You're there to teach,
their
not
job
kill.
is already stressful enough. They should not be licensed to like. They are there to teach.
You
And
need
that
to.
is their job.
You need to draw on a chalkboard.
And if they don't want to teach and they
not
want to carry
on a
guns,
student.
I'll say it like this: if they don't want to teach, if they don't want to teach classes and students, then they can teach at a gun range with their guns.
It's that drawing.
Like
Come
I
on,
don't
man.
need that because I feel like
And
feel like
teachers
a
can't handle it
principal
because kids
person.
have no respect. And we used to disrespect our teachers.
I'm going
for
to say it
less.
like this. No, not even that. I'm going to say
They used to get roasted.
as a person of color, a black person, I feel that this law is going to be really detrimental to people, to students of color, because more than likely, students of color get in trouble more often than not. Most states. Like if we look at most records
Facts.
in
I
schools,
mean, it's
it is
documented.
what it is.
It's documented. So
It's documented. It's there. We know. And it's usually minor infractions for the same thing a kid who is not colored happens to be white does not get in trouble for the same thing that colored students get into. So I am pretty sure that we're going to start seeing fucking news about teachers shooting children, and they're
On the
going to be black
regular.
and brown children. It's going to be on the regular.
It's gonna be more school shootings, but
More
just
school
to
shooting,
teachers
and
now.
it's going to be teacher shooting students, and I don't want this across my
that's what I'm
country.
saying. Like, what happens when it's like in class and you just happen to, and there's another student gets hit in crossfire? Like
What
you know
if the
I'm
teacher?
saying?
What if a random ass student gets a hold of the teacher's gun
And just go crazy.
and just go crazy? Does the teacher have a backup gun?
No, the teacher doesn't have a back.
Teachers out of there. Like
If they got a backup gun, that's a lot of guns now in the classroom. There's 2 guns in the classroom now. What? That's a lot. Why? Or is it really? It's not
But-
that dangerous in
I
America.
got one
okay.
underneath the
Nah.
second eraser.
It's not.
I do have a question, though.
It's
I do have
not
a
that
question.
dangerous in America, but it is dangerous. In
I do have a
America.
question. Like, how is the learning environment for the students?
It's got to be stressful.
knowing that the teacher
Has
is
to be
just
stressful.
bearing arms.
Listen,
In
I
class.
have never been to a school in my entire life where teachers.
It was
taught
bad
them.
enough. Remember when they had the ruler and shit? You fuck around, get spanked with the fucking ruler.
Like-
Like, the tensions was high then.
That
So
was
this
high.
nigga's bearing arms.
It's a lot of. That's a lot. That's intense pressure. That's a lot.
Yo, like
I
can
told you if
only
you came back
imagine.
to in school one more time, I'm gonna pop that ass.
Like,
Like,
That's crazy. Like the tension was high. Like it was like,
It's a
yo,
lot. That is a lot.
they done had it.
That
They ready
this
to
nigga
retire.
could
retire.
draw on me at any
That's a
time.
lot.
Instead of drawing on the chalkboard, nigga, you could draw on me.
It's nuts. That's so
Yo.
nuts. But I mean,
Everybody can get painted.
everyone can get painted. It's
Sure.
sad.
Sure.
Everyone can get painted.
We need to
sad
correct
to
Damn
say.
it.
We need to correct
It is sad to say. And
Sure,
that's what
bro.
as
That's
we,
off the record.
now that we take it a little down, we do need to talk about some things that deal also with shootings as well, because we can't just talk about school shootings because there's always a lot of shootings. There's a lot of interactions. When you have school shootings, you also have to talk about the police and their interactions with people.
Correct.
And their shootings as well. But then you have to talk about just the interactions, period, with people who happen to be colored people. Like, we know what happens with black people when police meet. Most people know that there's a lot of times that we've seen a lot of videos with death. And
Thank God for this era and this, mobile phone
the
era.
phone
I mean,
era.
I'm glad there's documentation.
Because this shit been going on.
But it's been going on forever. And I'm glad there's documentation now.
Like, I
And-
don't know
and-
what type of camera they have with the Rodney King shit, but like, that was
Not
so-
the.
I'm just saying, like, come on now.
Rodney King was
Somebody
a real
was
wake-up
in the
moment.
background.
Rodney
You know what I
King
mean?
was a real wake up moment. But most children nowadays don't know and understand that. Like, there are people who are too young, who are way too young to even understand what that happened.
right.
That was life changing.
Right. Because that's like the first time
the
we've
real
actually
riot.
seen
That
it
was
like
the
that.
riot.
That's the definition of a riot.
So that would make you
Oh,
want to
so we
riot.
popping
And I understood
on,
why they
like,
rioted. Like, I
Because the
completely
motherfuckers was
understood it.
acquitted. So
Like,
I mean,
it's
that's
not,
else.
but most of them are always still acquitted.
True.
Yeah.
As they clearly are.
True.
And we have to talk about this.
Man.
We have to talk about the Sandra Bland case.
Rest in peace.
May she rest in peace.
Yes.
Because I heard recently, and it blows my mind, that now, I want to say it's 4 years after she has been gone, that there was a video she recorded while in her interaction with the police.
4 years after.
4 years
4
after
years
her
after.
death.
Wow.
In the jail for a turn signal violation. Like, she went to jail for a turn signal viation and died in jail.
Nobody hangs herself anymore.
And then the
Let's
cop
start
was
there.
just so aggressive. Like, I just
The
knew it
cop
just
was
wasn't
aggressive.
right.
Like, I had heard about the video and I didn't want to watch it. Then I happened to watch the video and I'm just even. It makes me even more mad because I'm just like, this is nuts. I've seen way too many videos with the police just overreacting when it comes to black and brown people. Like, I have never seen. They much rather jump and shoot them than actually talk to them. And I don't understand what the problem is.
What's the problem, y'all?
Like, I don't know.
Can we talk about it? Because hands up, don't, you know what I'm saying?
That don't mean
don't
nothing.
shoot.
Hands up, don't shoot. Don't
Hands
mean
up,
nothing.
don't shoot.
Running away.
Can we talk
No, it's
about
hands
it?
up,
No,
fall out.
you don't understand. If you were to shoot someone who broke into
Fall
your
out.
house, robbing you, as they're running away, you are going to jail because that
They can sue you.
They can sue you.
They can sue you.
They were relieving. They were fleeing the scene.
Yeah.
And you shot them in the back.
And that should have.
Though they robbed you, and you are allowed to bear the right to have that gun. Like, so at the moment, we're allowed to have that gun, but you can't shoot that robber in the back.
I never seen nobody about to get tased for forgetting
I'm
to do
just
a
saying,
turn
it's
signal,
a
but
lot.
she's about to get
It's
tased
too
and
much.
everything. So it's just like,
Why are you pulling out a
The terror.
taser?
And she knew her rights. She
And knew
was
her rights.
very.
well, we gonna
She
take
was
it to court
very
then.
woke.
You right,
She-
Sandra. We gonna take it to
Yeah,
court.
And I
she
wish
definitely
she
knew
had,
what she
and I
was
wish
talking
she had
about.
had that opportunity to take it to court because she should have won her case.
But that's
And
that's
it's
what it
messed
is,
up.
man. And this shit is so fucked up, man. And it's like,
messed up
oh, we
on a
know
lot
y'all
of
dirty
levels.
motherfuckers is out there. We
cops
know
are
y'all
going-
out there, and y'all time is coming. I mean,
It's
we
gonna
understand
come.
that this is
There's
a
enough
big ass
movies
game.
and everything out
We
there.
understand
It's
that y'all all together, but believe me,
It's gonna-
y'all time is coming.
They're
Y'all
gonna have to
covering
have a
this shit
reckoning.
up. Y'all got politicians and everybody in y'all back pocket like it's all a big ass game.
It has to. It has
Like, it's
to.
coming.
Because the police, they do some shady things that I can't believe. most
And that
days.
woman done nothing.
She did nothing wrong other than have a turn signal violation.
She had a turn signal violation and a degree.
I see more
In
people-
America, that's
I
what
have
she did
seen
wrong.
so
She had
many
a
people
degree.
do a turn signal violation on a daily basis while driving as a regular driving person.
We seen two people turn right on red today.
I saw two people turn right on red.
Like, sir, you know you.
But okay,
With a sign that said no turn on red.
but okay,
In front of you. Right there, like I'm staring at the same sign. And you turn right on red.
you know what?
Okay.
I don't care who get mad behind me, because what we not gonna do.
What we're not gonna do, but this woman had to die for that. That's nuts.
That's what I'm saying. And like, let's put this shit into perspective
terror,
because if
like,
the
oh
shoe
my
was
God.
like, let's just say, and we
That's
know,
nuts.
and I'm sure, like, even the viewers, like, I'm sure you've been in a public place or wherever you probably seen someone have an interaction with the police or whatever it
That's
is, whether of color or whatever, just, you know what I'm saying, a fair skinned race. And if it's a fair skinned race, more than likely, if they're drunk or some shit like that, you will see them fucking just going in on the officers, and the officers is for whatever trying to calm them down and soothe them, and hey, do you want to like it's like some weird ass shit, but on the like you know what I'm saying like. You know what I'm saying? Like African descent, like we just know our rights and we just talk clearly about it. It's a problem, and
But,
this
I
shit
mean,
just
People get kicked out of places
even
for
okay, I'll
less.
say it like this: even when we though are following our own creed and honor, and we are doing all the right things, people still seem to get harassed by the police because in Texas, Clarence Evans.
Clarence Evans. Man.
Poor this man
It
was
doesn't
in his
stop.
own yard
In his own yard with his son.
doing nothing that warranted the police to even involve themselves with him whatsoever, other than to say hello. How are you doing, sir? Do you need any assistance with anything else?
Right, exactly. Like
And
that's the
then
only thing.
That's the only thing the police should have
He
ever
should
said
have
to
just pulled
them.
up and asked him how his day was.
How are you doing, sir? As the police should be doing, because you should get to know the people who live in that neighborhood. If you were police in the neighborhood, I believe
Especially
you should
if
know
you're
that.
patrolling the neighborhood.
If you're
right,
patrolling, you should get to know the people who live there.
Right.
More than likely, people will. If you try to get to know them, they're going to try to get to know you because we see you. You're regular. I know you. You know me. But you decide to go into this man's yard and harass him and claim that he's somebody else that he is not. And he tell you, "I am not that person.
Don't look nothing like.
I don't look
I think
like
the guy's
him."
name was Quincy.
Yes, I'm not Quincy. My name is Clarence. I don't know. I've never been to. You claim I'm from Louisiana. I'm not from Louisiana. I've never.
We
no.
in Texas.
We're
What
in
you talking
Texas.
about? We're about 2
What are you
states
talking
over.
about? And the fact that it's just mind-boggling.
Deep
It's
in
just-
Texas. So
It's
that's
just,
at least 2 states.
It's mind-boggling.
And
Maddening.
shout out to Clarence too, man, because he held his own. And shout out to his wife that was documenting shit. And y'all make sure if y'all ever in a situation of any kind with that,
Document it.
y'all document that shit. And even if they tell you to put the
Documentation.
phones away, you keep that motherfucker rolling. You go to Facebook Live
Keep
if you
it
need
rolling.
to. Goddamn it, you
Y'all
record
call the
that
cops.
shit.
They tied me up. Facebook Live all day.
So shout out to the
All day.
wife, you know what I'm saying, who recorded it.
Shout
Shout out to
out.
Clarence because he fucking held his own.
Stay
Now,
in his comments,
that
he
shit
said.
could have went completely left.
He could have been gone.
He could have easily been
He
gone.
could've been
He got
another
shot.
one. He coulda easily been
in his
gone.
front yard for
Right in his
just
front yard for some
some
fucked
dumb
up
shit.
shit from them.
Could have been easily gone.
some dumb shit.
So
Like-
I mean, you know, we just definitely
He
got.
even
I
said
guess.
the cop was shaking and everything once he put his hand on there. You not about to cuff me. You nervous and he disrespected the Mexican. I was like, yes.
The cop. Sometimes
Get the
I
fuck
just.
off my yard, sir.
It's a lot some days. There's just too much some days in the world that goes on, and I pray that our country fixes itself. But you know, as we have all these negative stories,
You know what? Before you get into the positive joint, let me end it on Clarence Evans really quick. I just want to end it with the quote from the great, you know what I'm saying, Tupac Shakur, and I quote, "Dear Mr. Police, please try to see that it is a million motherfuckers dressing just like me. Only God can judge me." End quote. Thank you. That's just
Only
all
God
I
can
know.
judge me. You
Shout
know,
out
and
to
I
Tupac,
like
baby.
take that. That is a really great. That is wonderful to step into the next segment because you know there's always too much to talk about. That's always down.
Yes.
There's a lot of negative things, and sometimes you just want to hear some good news.
Yes. You
Like,
know we're gonna bring
you need
y'all
a
the
little-
good news.
You gotta have a little bit of good news.
Because
after
our shit is all over the place.
It be all over, but you gotta have a little bit of good news. And honestly, this is fantastic news that I just happened to hear. At Morehouse, this most recent graduating class in 2019, a man by the name of Robert F. Smith has decided to pay for, he was earning his doctorate. He got his doctorate and he decided to pay for the entire graduating class's student loans. Like
Salute.
he paid off their student loan
Salute
debt.
to you, man.
Like that
Salute.
is,
And that
am
whole
so-
class of 2019s, man. Salute, because I know
that
that was.
is an amazing moment in time because student loan debt is atrocious.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Like
ridiculous.
it's stupid. And I'm so happy that these people get to go out into the world and better the world without this huge burden upon them.
Shout out, man. That's a lovely
That is a
story.
wonderful gift to give.
I just almost lit up.
Like
inside when I
it
heard
lit
that.
me
Wow,
up. I heard it and
okay.
I was like, this is amazing. This is a good thing. yes, the news is always negative, but it's always nice to hear something good, and I like hearing good things. And the fact was, there's 400 students who got this, so that's amazing.
Give or take, it's about.
Give or take.
He's
So
spending
the
a strong
ballpark
$10
range-
million.
He's spending a good amount of money.
approximately,
It's a strong 10
approximately.
million
Spending
plus.
several $1 million.
Plus.
He
Salute,
has,
man.
he's able to do so, and I feel that people who are able to do so should do so.
It's at the end of the day, they probably seen him going back and forth to class. They was probably in class with them. You know what I'm saying?
It's a
He's
good
older.
thing.
They probably didn't treat him no different than anybody else. He probably felt all that love and was like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I can afford
And
it.
it happened at a
Let me share this with
historically
y'all.
black
I'm
college.
telling you, man, that undercover boss shit is real, man. Like, you just
Like-
don't know.
It's that undercover boss shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know
Undercover
who
boss.
the fuck you around. So
Undercover
just treat
boss.
everybody with love, positivity.
That
you know what I'm
undercover boss
saying?
shit is real.
You know what I'm saying?
Undercover
Treat
boss
everybody
shit. I
with
love it.
respect.
all day.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know who the fuck you're talking to. Like, you
Treat
don't
everyone
know.
with
Like, this
kindness.
nigga was a billionaire in class. Like,
In
it
class
wasn't
with everybody
nothing.
else.
And one of them low-key billionaires that ain't got the big conglomerate brand and shit like that. He
All
probably
day.
You might wear
made his
New
money,
Balances.
Low key with the
Probably
money.
created a system or some shit, sold it, that his company and some shit, just low-key with it. You know
he
what
is
I'm
like
saying?
an investor and
He's an
something
investor,
else.
philanthropist. Like he's
A little bit of everything.
Shout out,
a little bit of
man.
everything. Like he's
Shout out
also an
to you,
engineer.
man.
Like so he
You're
did a
doing
really
real
great
big
thing.
things, man. That's
and
beautiful.
I'm very happy to.
That's beautiful,
I'm
man.
just ecstatic that we can end on a lighter note because
Yeah,
sometimes
definitely.
the world is just a little too dark, and I hope the world gets a little bit brighter. It's got to get a little bit brighter, people. I'm going to
Definitely.
say.
Enjoy that sunshine while you can, because it's not gonna get no brighter.
Look for the sunshine in the world.
Unless we all get out and vote.
Because there's a dark world coming, and I will say this, everyone, get yourselves registered, get out and vote, because
Get out there.
a lot of these issues can be solved by just simply voting.
That's it.
We have the power. We can do it. I would say do it. So
Obviously, not enough people voted in Alabama. That's why y'all can't get.
that's why they can't get abortions anymore. I'm going to hope that you get out and
Bring it
vote.
together.
And on that note, thanks for tuning in to Wayne Faye and Company. I'm Shelly.
I'm Desiree.
I'm Brandon.
And this was Better Late Than Never News. Please subscribe. Thanks, guys.
Subscribe, baby.